We are following breaking news right now related to music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Major new allegations today of sexual assault and exploitation by Combs. For the first time, we are hearing about victims who say they were minors when they were allegedly assaulted by the music star. The youngest allegedly just 9 years old. The allegations were revealed today by attorneys representing more than 100 alleged victims who are preparing to sue.
There are indeed other perpetrators involved. They will be revealed when that particular individual case is ready to be filed. They already know who they are. And I'm talking here about not just the cowardly but complicit bystanders. That is, those people that we know watched this behavior occur and did nothing. I'm talking about the people that participated, encouraged it, egged it on. They know who they are.
Diddy might be facing life in prison as shocking new developments emerge. It appears that his escapades weren't limited to adults. There were also minors involved, now all grown up and ready to hold the former music mogul accountable for his actions. This is long overdue, as the allegations against Diddy are truly despicable. The youngest victim was just 9 years old at the time of the incidents. In a startling revelation, the federal authorities are reportedly preparing to unveil even more disturbing details, with over 3,000 victims ready to come forward. Thanks to their testimonies, the feds have also identified other celebrities who allegedly played a role in Diddy's troubling activities, and they intend to ensure that everyone involved faces justice. What evidence did the authorities uncover? And who are the other celebrities implicated? Here's what we know so far.
The biggest secret in the entertainment industry that really wasn't a secret at all has finally been revealed.
It appears that Diddy may truly be the worst of them all. During a press conference on October 1st, attorney Tony Busby, accompanied by co-counsel Andrew Van Arsdale, made shocking allegations against the former music mogul. Busby revealed that his law firm has been working on multiple civil lawsuits against Combs, with claims ranging from mistreatment and fraud to battery and incidents involving minors. This is where things take a disturbing turn. According to Busby, his firm has received calls from 3,285 individuals, all of whom have reported being traumatized by Diddy at some point in their lives. Rather than turning these people away, Busby's firm listened to their accounts and has so far verified the stories of 120 victims, a number expected to increase. Interestingly, among these victims, 60 are men and 60 are women, indicating that Diddy did not have a particular preference. Additionally, while there were rumors that he targeted black individuals specifically, the evidence suggests otherwise. His actions have impacted all communities. Of the plaintiffs, 62% are African American, 30% are white, and the remainder are Hispanic or Asian. These victims come from over 25 different states, with the majority hailing from California, New York, Georgia, and Florida. Most importantly, Busby noted that these incidents occurred between 1991 and 2024. However, the most disturbing detail is that 25 of these victims were minors at the time of the incidents.
When we talk about the ages of the victims when the conduct occurred, it's shocking. Our youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old. We have an individual who was 14 years old. We have one who was 15. 25 of the 120 individuals who are plaintiffs in these cases were minors at the time of the acts complained of.
The incidents that happened at freak-off parties, New Year parties, album release parties, white parties, auditions, and something called puppy parties. Report says one of the minions, who was 9 years old at the time, was allegedly in a room with Diddy for an audition when he asked the victim to perform favors for him. And it wasn't just Diddy. Once he was done, he asked the others in the room to do the same thing. In return, Diddy promised him a record deal. Another minion was asked to come back without their parents, and in return, Diddy promised to make him a star. Of course, the victim was young and fell for the former music mogul's lies. And once Diddy got him alone, he had the minion perform orals on him. Another incident where a minion who was 15 years old was flown out to New York City to attend a party. Upon arriving at the party, the plaintiff was offered drinks laced with illegal substances that rendered them defenseless. They remember being in a room with Diddy and others doing what they wanted to do with them. Another victim found himself picked up at the airport by Diddy and his entourage in a sleek black SUV. During the ride, he was handed a drink that knocked him out cold. When he regained consciousness the next day, he was met with a foggy memory of the previous night. However, the stark realization that he was missing his shoes and underwear, coupled with a deep physical discomfort, made it chillingly clear what had occurred. A male victim also reached out to the law firm, sharing that he had to leave the industry due to the trauma caused by Diddy. It's important to note that all of these cases are ones that Busby and his firm intend to pursue. Some of these victims reported their experiences to the authorities and underwent medical examinations, during which hospitals discovered chemicals in in their blood that were unfamiliar to them. One of these substances was identified as a horse tranquilizer.
One in particular that continues to pop up is a drug called xylazine, or tranq, which, based on our research, is known as a horse tranquilizer.
What's particularly disturbing is that the number of victims could continue to rise. Following Busby's press conference, news reports indicate that over 12,000 calls have been recorded on the hotline set up for victims to come forward within just 24 hours. Given this overwhelming response, his firm is working tirelessly to ensure they cover all their bases, with more than 100 people dedicated to managing the hotline. Busby shared with Urban Hollywood, "Since the press conference yesterday, we've received 12,000 calls in about 24 hours. Our Herculean task now is to sift through each of these calls, ensuring we identify those who are victims and those who are witnesses, while collecting evidence." Busby also noted that he is bringing in a former detective from the Major Offenders Unit of the Houston Police Department to help corroborate the victims' stories.
We're being stringent because, as I said, these are not easy cases. They're very tough. The process is hard, and in some cases, the process is very lengthy.
As for why these victims are coming forward now, legal experts suggest that Diddy's indictment may have triggered this wave of testimonies. With the former music mogul behind bars, these individuals might finally feel secure enough to share their stories and seek justice for themselves and others.
Thanks for coming on. First, I want to talk about the timing of this. Comes out after the indictment, after the arrest. What do you make of the timing?
I think the timing is about perfect. So a lot of people don't come forward right away because for a number of reasons. And when you do this in this manner after the publicity that the indictment and the arrest have received, a lot of these survivors, this is really kind of top of mind for them right now. And so having this happen right now, it's kind of allowing them that safety, really, and having people that have kind of tried to push this away to think about maybe I should help others. And so I think that's really kind of, some of the more significant parts of why you do this now.
Another reason these victims may be coming forward now is that authorities are finally listening, which wasn't the case when these incidents occurred years ago. Attorney Tony Busby noted that many victims faced indifference when they approached police officers or hospital staff with their stories, and it's clear why. At that time, Diddy had connections everywhere, allowing him to manipulate investigations and, in some cases, threaten victims into silence. According to Busby, 55% of these victims filed reports, and those reports will now serve as evidence. However, a pressing question remains. If Diddy mistreated minors, why wasn't he charged with those crimes in the indictment? Were the feds unaware of these allegations, or did they not find credible evidence? Legal experts indicate that this is a developing situation. The truth is, we don't really know what's happening behind the scenes. The feds could be conducting their own investigation into these charges and may issue another indictment once they have a stronger case. But here's where things get really creepy. In the summer of 1991, a 6-year-old Justin Latovsky found himself at an unforgettable Diddy party in the Hamptons on July 3rd. Now 30, he reflects on that day, which was made possible by his dad, David Allen, a photographer who had the inside scoop. At first, young Justin was starry-eyed, caught up in the thrill of mingling with A-list celebrities. He even managed to snap a photo with Diddy himself. However, as the party unfolded, he began to notice some strange sights around him. What started as a dreamlike experience quickly turned into something more bewildering. But Justin did not see any other kids around him, and that's when an uncomfortable feeling started to settle in. He told the Post, "I remember a lot of blank and a bunch of topless women in the pool and around the pool. I actually wanted to get in. Anytime we went anywhere with a pool, I wanted to swim. I didn't know if blanks were a good thing or a bad thing, but I hoped to jump in." He also said, "I don't look like I have a normal smile in the pic," referring to the photos he took at the event. Meanwhile, Maya Latovsky, his mother, told the Post, "There were bottles everywhere and naked women. I wasn't sure if this was appropriate or normal. I wondered about how kids were allowed into the party to begin with. Naturally, one might wonder why Justin didn't witness the more outrageous happenings at the party. The answer lies in Diddy's carefully crafted image. He knew how to keep appearances up, posting these seemingly tame gatherings for the cameras while reserving the wild, questionable antics for the exclusive backroom parties, events that only his inner circle were privy to. Justin's experience was just a glimpse into a world that remained largely hidden from the public eye, and so Diddy has a lot to answer for. And he's not the only one. During the press conference, Busby made it clear that Diddy wasn't the only one facing scrutiny in these lawsuits. He pointed out that there were others present who didn't merely observe Diddy's questionable behavior, they actively participated in it. Busby emphasized that their complicity won't go unpunished, and he's determined to ensure they're held accountable for their roles in the unfolding drama. He was quoted saying, "The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there's a lot of names. It's a long list already, but because of the nature of this case, we are going to make damn sure that we're right before we do that. The names will shock you." Fans are rallying behind Tony, convinced of his credibility. Over the years, numerous high-profile names have been linked to Diddy and his infamous parties. Aretha Franklin, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton, Sarah Jessica Parker, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ashton Kutcher, and many others. Yet, in the wake of the recent allegations, many of these celebrities have remained conspicuously silent. So how does Tony plan to shine a light on these A-listers? Instead of pursuing a class action, he's opting for a more personal approach. Each of the 120 victims will have their own individual case. This means that names will be revealed one by one, allowing the public to piece together who was present during these troubling incidents and what unspeakable acts they may have participated in. In the coming 30 days, Busby will file a series of civil lawsuits across various states, but that's just the beginning. According to his statements at the press conference, many of these incidents occurred at well-known venues and even at the homes of prominent celebrities. Busby intends to hold them accountable as well, targeting those who allowed Diddy to perpetrate these horrific acts within their walls.
These defendants will not only include individuals, but would also include corporate entities who ultimately profited off of this culture and behavior. I'm looking at banks, pharmaceutical companies, hotels. We know that many of these individuals were paid cash. We know that many of these individuals involved, whether they were the ones being assaulted and abused or they're witnessing other people being assaulted and abused and then paid and threatened and told to leave. Typically paid 10 grand in cash and told to leave. And then threatened as they were leaving. So in addition to Sean Combs, you should know the defendants in these cases we're going to file will include anyone, of course, who engaged in the assault or exploitation, anyone who participated in such in any way, anyone who encouraged or facilitated this conduct, anyone who was in the room and watched it happen but made no effort to stop it, any venue or venue owner who was aware of what was going on but failed to stop it.
As for Diddy, his attorney Erica Wolf has dismissed the allegations as nothing more than a money grab. She stated, "He cannot address every meritless allegation in what has become a reckless media circus." Mr. Combs emphatically denies any claim that he mistreated anyone, including minions. He looks forward to proving his innocence in court, where the truth will be established based on evidence, not speculation. However, Diddy's legal team might want to reconsider that stance. At the press conference, Busby was anything but vague. He asserted that his firm has substantiated these allegations with a trove of evidence, including videos, photos, text messages, police reports, and hospital records. Diddy's lawyers are in for a tough battle once Busby starts filing these lawsuits. Up to this point, Diddy's defense has hinged on the claim that everything at the parties was consensual. But if Busby can demonstrate that there were minors present, Diddy's entire defense could crumble. Busby is no novice in high-profile cases. He previously took on NFL player Deshaun Watson over mistreatment claims. In 2022, Watson faced accusations from over 24 women, and although 2 Texas grand juries opted not to pursue criminal charges, he still received an 11-game suspension. Now Busby is once again stepping into the ring, representing another victim. With his experience and strategic approach, Busby is determined to ensure Diddy faces the consequences of his actions. In fact, he has already connected some of his plaintiffs with federal authorities to explore building a case against Diddy on additional fronts.
And you should know, to the extent the clients feel comfortable, we also intend to make these individuals available to the authorities, specifically to the FBI. And you should also know a few of them have already been spoken to by the FBI.
Safe to say, Diddy's done for. As for fans, well, they're patiently waiting for the truth to come out in a court of law. One person commented, "I'm hoping to hear what they say during trial. I will not pass full judgment now, especially with all these new stories." Meanwhile, another person commented, "Glad he is finally locked up. All the victims need justice, compensation, and healing." If the claims prove credible, they could not only affect his public image, but also influence the legal outcomes of both civil and potential criminal cases. It'll be interesting to see how Diddy's defense adapts as more details emerge. What are your thoughts? Do you believe the allegations could lead to serious consequences for him? Share your views in the comments.